I'm Kara Ray, founder of the Powerful and Uncensored Entrepreneurs. I'm a mother, stepmother to 3 beautiful children. I'm a wife and a proud entrepreneur. I'm a mindset coach specifically for the powerful and ambitious online female entrepreneurs who desire to create wealth and abundance in all areas of their life. The Powerful and Uncensored Mompreneur podcast is for the ambitious women and mothers who are ready to rise together and empower one another. Get plugged in each week for unfiltered and uncensored conversations between myself and industry leaders who are here to support you. They have unwavering points of views and empower women to believe in themselves. We will be discussing business, spirituality, sexuality, energy, strong points of views, manifestation, and what I like to call breaking the stigma topics, conversations that will no longer be silenced. This is a safe place to reclaim your power of being a woman. Let's dive in. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Powerful and Uncensored Mompreneur podcast. So today I'm extremely excited because, I have Gina Bell back on the podcast because we have been collaborating like a bunch of badass women, badass boss babes. So Gina, welcome back to the podcast.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
So today, you guys, as most of you have seen, if you follow us both on Facebook, you have seen that we have been, like I said, undergoing a lot of collaboration and creating a ton of programs. And right now we released a mastermind and it is called VICTRESS. So, you know, Gina, I always ask this question and I want to talk about it anyways because it just gives a different vibe. But what are you currently celebrating in your life and business right now?
Ooh, that's a good question. I'm going to actually take a win on the personal side of things. I'm an introvert. I tend to be a homebody, but I'm actually craving new experiences. Like, you know, not that I don't like my life, but, you know, I do have a milestone birthday coming up. And it's just got me thinking a lot more about, you know, what are the things that I'm really excited about doing that I haven't done yet. So, I mean, not, you know, morbid like a bucket list, because that, you know, to me is just kind of like a downer, but like an adventure list. And, you know, I've tossed around ideas of, you know, 50 before 50 or things like that. But I actually took myself out on a date and went to a movie on Sunday night by myself, all by myself, like a big girl. And I was really proud of myself. I had never done that before. I know lots of people who go to the movies by themselves. And I always thought it was like, I don't get it. I don't know if I'd want to go to a movie by myself. But I was super bored. I needed to get out of the house. And I thought, you know what? I'm just going to take myself to a movie. And I went and saw 5 Feet Apart. And it is an adorable movie. I loved it. I cried my face off. There were adult men wiping, like visibly wiping tears from their face. So yes, take some tissue or grab some extra napkins after you get your popcorn, but highly recommend 5 Feet Apart. It was so good.
I think I need to wait to see that movie until after I'm pregnant because these hormones have got me. Oh my. I was watching one of those videos with like how army men, they're like the soldiers are coming home and their children, and oh man, I couldn't even make it through the first 2. I was like a bawling mess. And my husband was looking at me like, are you going to survive? I'm like, this is so sad. I've never cried about like this anyway. But anyways, good for you for going to a movie on your own. Something I've always wanted to do. So I am inspired by that. And I know that a lot of other women are probably like, oh, I need to do that. So
yeah, it was fantastic. It was great.
I remember when you messaged me and you're like, I'm going to a movie by myself. I was like, yeah, you are. And so it's a great thing because being able to spend time with ourselves is important. Like that is a huge milestone that a lot of people don't do because they're uncomfortable with spending time alone. So,
yeah, and that is actually on my, like, that's something that I'm really focused on is just getting more comfortable with myself. And so it's funny, I'm an introvert. I am a homebody. I do like my quiet time. I do like being quote unquote alone. But I realized that in that aloneness and in that comfortableness of, peace and quiet and being alone. And still wasn't really building a relationship with myself, if that makes any sense at all.
Yep, it sure does. Yeah.
So it turns out that I'm pretty good company. So I'm looking forward to just getting to know myself better again. Because I think, over the years we can lose sight of that. Being really focused in relationships or being really focused in business. You start to do couples things or family things, and you lose sight of, well, what are the things that I like to do?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. So I also want to say that if you guys hear a little one like singing in the background, she just decided to wake up from her nap. So she'll be fine. But if you hear her going,
it's because she hears my voice.
Probably. And also because she wants to be present and she's like, excuse me, I'm here too. So she's good. I'm like looking at her and she's literally smiling and playing with stars. So, did you hear that?
I did. Yeah.
Yeah. She's saying hello because now
she likes to talk to me.
Yeah. And so in regards to, because, we're talking about VICTRESS, we're talking about the mastermind that we created. I want to talk to you about, why we decided to call it VICTRESS. And I really want women to know this. And really, I want women to get to know you more and more. That's why we've collaborated and come on to the podcast, because you have a really strong leadership voice. And really this, I'm going to let you take this on what, why you wanted it to be called VICTRESS, like your take on that.
Well, VICTRESS, I don't know. I don't have the definition of it pulled up, but it really means victorious woman, VICTRESS. And when I think about being an achiever, I am a high achiever. I'm a go-getter. That's the type of women that both Kara and I attract. Those words would definitely apply to Kara as well. VICTRESS is all about being victorious. And when we created this mastermind, it was hot on the heels of our What Would Courage Do 30-day challenge, which is designed to get women out of their own way, to really navigate those barriers and challenges that are self-imposed, like limiting beliefs, the things that we have control over. And there's a we thought about, well, what's next? Like, once we have women who are feeling more courageous, right? I'm super passionate about helping women navigate true desires, those true goals that a lot of us have kept in our back pockets, that we're not, we haven't honored yet because of the fear, right? And once we know how to navigate those fears and doubts and limiting beliefs and comparison and all of those things that we talk about in What Would Courage Do, because it really is all about action, VICTRESS is also about being an achiever. It is all devoted to action, to achieving a really bold goal. And when it comes to those bold goals, it's not about trying. VICTRESS is not about trying. That's why our tagline is the word try crossed out and triumph, because that's what we really want you to do. And not just, as ambitious women, we're always moving the needle forward on things. We're we have goals, we're doing stuff, right? But are you doing the things that really light you up? That's what VICTRESS is for. That's what the 8-week mastermind is for. It is for the woman who has been sitting on something that is so significant and meaningful that if you were to achieve it, I like to say it this way, that it would take your breath away. We want you to feel like a victress, being able to look back and say, I freaking did it. Oh my God, I can't believe I did it. And I think every achiever has those things that they've just been dreaming about bringing forward, but they have been scared. They need a container. And for some women, that container is coaching, which is awesome. Other women need to have the energy of a group of other women who are also achievers, who are also go-getters, who have a high vibe, who are moving in a scary direction. They're afraid, but they're doing it anyways. They need to be surrounded by that energy to pull them forward, to get them out of their own way again, right? Because it's like Kara posted about this on social media about that new level, new devil concept. Because as an achiever, and I always, the analogy that I use is the song from Miley Cyrus, The Climb. There's always going to be another mountain.
Yep.
Right? As an achiever, I know that once I've achieved something, there's something next. If I haven't already thought about what I'm moving on to before I've achieved the thing I'm working on. Right? That's just how we roll. But our question for you, and what VICTRESS, the container of VICTRESS is for, is that scary goal. That scary goal that you haven't brought forward yet because it's scary, because you're not entirely sure how you're going to do it, and you need to put yourself in a situation where you have no choice. You've gone public. You're surrounding yourself with a group of other high achievers who are going to propel you forward as well.
I need you to repeat that last sentence, as it was starting to to cut out, and I want to make sure that women actually hear. And so I know that sometimes it records anyways, and it'll record your voice, but I really want to make sure people, women who are listening to this, listen to that last, 2 sentences that you just said.
Oh no, when I talk, I don't really know what I said. So it is, oh gosh, rewind. Help me out, Kara. What was I saying?
You were talking about the mastermind itself and being a part of this container. You were also talking about the term new level, new devil, but then you were also talking about how
Miley Cyrus, The Climb. Yeah. Yes, that there's always that next thing. But VICTRESS is really all about not necessarily that next thing, although it might be, but it is that big thing that you have not had the courage to bring forward, quote unquote, yet, where you know that you need something beyond yourself in order to bring it to life. And you're at that point where keeping it in your back pocket and being silent about it is starting to get uncomfortable. You are being called forward to bring this into the world because it is a true desire. It is something that you are destined to do. You just haven't done it yet. And it's time. It's time.
Boom, mic drop. It's time.
Yeah. Yeah, VICTRESS is not about goal setting. It's not even about goal getting. It's really beyond that, right? It's about just that next level, really leveling up.
100%. And, I want to talk about, like, what is a mastermind? And you were talking about it. You were saying how, like, this is a container, and some women, like the one-on-one and really thrive in that space, where other women need that accountability, need that safe system, almost like a safety net. But the safety net of women who are also high achievers, that are going towards what they ultimately want, that they're done with saying no to themselves or allowing their fear to be the reason why they haven't gone after what they ultimately want. This container is a space that you not only get to work with 2 coaches, but you also get to surround yourself with women with like-minded visions and goals, and women who really want to see not only themselves succeed, but you succeed. That is the whole point of proximity and the power of a mastermind, and really learning off of one another and leaning on one another.
Brainstorming.
Is the major point of a mastermind, is that you're not doing this alone at all.
My gosh. You know what? The beauty of a mastermind is that it becomes so much more than your idea, the one that excites you, that you've been scared about. It becomes something beyond what you've already imagined when you inject the power of a mastermind into it, because all of a sudden you have other strong, high vibe women who are challenging some assumptions that you might have about it. They are injecting some ideas things that you might not have thought about, that take it from oh my gosh to holy crap, right? This whole new level of aspiration that you're achieving for. It becomes so much more than it could ever be if you were just silently trying to move the needle forward on it, if you ever got to that point. Sometimes you have to inject yourself into that situation and say yes before you've figured out how you're going to do it. I mean, that is what the mastermind is for, is to help you navigate all that. Yeah.
Well, and the power of proximity, I just want to touch on that too, is that as you are stepping into this container, and you may have these fears and you may have these worries, and then you actually start getting to know that you're not alone in that worry, that you're not alone. You're not the only person who has fears or limiting beliefs or self-doubt, that other women feel that. And you actually step into a container where you feel not only accepted, but understood. And you also provide that to other women as well. And it almost puts you into this deeper perspective of like, wow, I've been worrying so much and thinking that I'm all alone in this journey and I'm the only one who feels this way, when you're not. And it really gives us perspective, and through proximity, through creating these relationships, because, you know, you get to know each other real quick, and what is really holding you back, because this container is a vulnerable container. And it is really like also this safe place for you to come undone and get so clear and trust these women. These women get to know you, like the actual real you, not the one that's hidden, the woman who actually has all these deep dreams and desires. These women get to know you. And through that, through being authentically and genuinely yourself, could you imagine the connections that you make through that space?
Lifelong friends, for sure.
Yes.
100%. Yeah.
And, you know, about that, like we were talking about, you know, proximity, like it's extremely powerful, and I will preach about proximity till the end. Like I have women I have never met in person that are in my corner, and they hold me to this higher standard that I adore. And so I know that these are, you know, friendships that will last seriously a lifetime.
These are the champions that champion you forward. All part of the whole VICTRESS vibe.
Yes. And I just, you know, I want to talk about, you know, our reflections of masterminds, because honestly, Gina and I ourselves have been a part of masterminds. You know, creating this mastermind, we took, you know, what we truly wanted to bring into this mastermind, but we also released what we don't want to have in a mastermind. We have learned so much from others and ourselves along the way, that being able to share and create this container with you was extremely empowering and powerful for myself, knowing that ultimately, like, I'm creating this incredible, magical, transformational space for women. Not only myself am I making this, but I'm making this with Gina. Like, and we are both putting our ideas into this, and it is truly from the heart that we're creating this. But I want you, Gina, to, you know, talk about your idea and perspective and things that have occurred to you, and why this mastermind is created the way that it is.
Sure. Oh man. Well, I love masterminds. I've definitely participated in them. I have hosted them. I think that they are so powerful in terms of taking those big leaps forward in your business, but they also have a personal growth aspect that is often unexpected. They're, you know, sharing your true desires with other people, like going public, that can be really vulnerable, and dealing with the things that come up can be really vulnerable. I have bawled like a baby because of my own stuff that was coming up. Like when you are rising up to a new level, and you're taking those risks, and you're doing it afraid, often there are challenges that will come up because life, but also because you are reaching to a new level. There are things that you haven't anticipated happening will happen. Unexpected things happen. Having these other women who are going through similar things, or who can just be an ear, I can't even, it would be impossible to put any kind of a price tag on the difference that has made for me as an entrepreneur, and even just as a woman. I have, like I said, I have cried because of things I was dealing with. I have cried because of things that my mastermind girlfriends were dealing with. And I have, inevitably, these things go so far beyond the container of the mastermind that I still have people checking in with me about my life from masterminds that I was part of 8 or 9 years ago.
Well, and I think that, you know, creating these relationships, and, you know, being vulnerable in that space and allowing your emotions to really come about, and instead of like suppressing them, because we encourage to get clear on those emotions. We encourage you to like open that up and to really allow yourself to get so extremely clear on what you want and get out of your own way. And honestly, doing it in front of other women who are doing the same. It is like this leader's lead, and you all continue to like lead the way and lead each other in this most beautiful way. And these relationships aren't just the surface, like on the surface relationships. You know, I think that's the biggest thing, you know, because I've also, you know, I've worked with a one-on-one coach, so I know that I've thrived in the one-on-one coaching and I love it. But at the same time, I've also really thrived in a mastermind setting where there's other women who are encouraging you, who are then checking in with you, like you were saying, and asking,
holding your feet to the fire. Yeah,
exactly. Or they're holding you to a different standard where they learn things about you, and they're like, I had this come up even just yesterday when there was a woman I worked in with a mastermind. We also had the same coach, and she said, you know, I listened to this episode on your podcast and with someone else too. And like, you really dove deep into something extremely vulnerable for yourself and your spirituality. And she's like, why? She's like, girl, why the hell is that not in your business? And she's like, because that is extremely powerful, and that is you. And it is slowly coming into fruition, but they really do. They really just kind of like nudge you, and they ask you those questions that you don't necessarily want to ask yourself. And they get you out of that comfort zone, and you
get to borrow their belief.
Yeah. And they get you comfortable with the uncomfortable. And like Gina just said, you get to borrow their belief. And in turn, that creates your own self-belief. And it's such a beautiful container. Like a mastermind will always, I firmly believe in masterminds.
Yes, and 100%.
There's different ways that people run masterminds, and I can't speak for them, but the way that Gina and I are running our mastermind is truly an expansive, safe, transformational, holy crap container where you will literally blow your damn mind. And with doing so, you also create lasting friendships that, like Gina said, will literally last a lifetime. And there is no price on that. Like when I actually just had this discussion with Gina yesterday too about how, you know, I spent tens of thousands of dollars on coaching and working with my coach and starting